If you would please welcome Kemi Fadayomi.
Good morning, and thank you for staying with us and listening to my story today. My story is about a lesson that I learned from Tabasco sauce. And no, I have no exotic recipe to share with you, so it's nothing like that. And the story is not about how I accidentally, the lesson I learned when I accidentally spilled a lot of Tabasco sauce on my food and have to drink almost 1 gallon of milk. That's a story for another day. But the one I want to share with you today is about how my biology professor made a connection with me, a connection that changed my life for the better, a connection that led me to this place today. So it was in 1978. But let me back up a little bit. I was born and raised in Nigeria. And like many, not all though, like many Nigerians, I grew up eating spicy food. If it's not spicy, it doesn't taste good. So that was the way my life was until that day, one Friday in 1978, January, when I left Nigeria. 3 days later, I ended up in a small town called Marshall, Texas. I was there to attend East Texas Baptist College. That time, it was East Texas Baptist College. The name has changed since then. Well, in the 1960s, my father had graduated from the college. So the opportunity presented itself. So there I was. It was going to be my home for the next few years where I would study biology. So I got there. On a Sunday afternoon, it was very cold. And I made a comment to my host, who had driven me there, that it's really cold here. He said it is 40 degrees. Well, nobody ever told me about Big Rapids, Michigan, so. But that was then. At that time, that day though, I thought the problem that I'm going to have, what is going to be my greatest challenge was the weather. Little did I know that it wasn't going to be the challenge at all. Actually, it was going to be very pale in comparison to some of the other challenges that I would face. So it was Sunday. I had missed orientation. And the next day, classes would start. So I will be meeting with the dean of students who's going to give me the Reader's Digest version of the orientation that I had missed. So I had breakfast. I was there. I was ready. I met him, and we had breakfast. And after breakfast, he walked me over to the science building where I would have my first class at 9 o'clock. It was biology class. So I got there, went to the building, got in the room, and then when I sat about the middle of the auditorium, it was a small auditorium, I sat right about the middle of the room. And then a few minutes later, this lady came in, tall lady. I have never seen a woman that tall. At least she looked really tall, very imposing. I was intimidated immediately. And she comes into class and she smiled and she talked with made some talks, and then she looked at me. And right about that time, she just raised her voice. She said, "Kemi, come right over here and sit in front here for me." I'm going, okay, I'm not going to mess with her. I'm just going to get up and I'm just going to go. So I packed my stuff. I sat in front. She said, "Sit right there so that you can understand me." Okay. So I sat there. After class, it was lunchtime. I went for lunch. The food tasted terrible. Dinner was not better. So within the next few weeks, I realized that breakfast I can do. There's always cereal, there's bread. Who doesn't like bacon? There's bacon, sausage. There were things I could handle for breakfast. But for lunch and dinner, I started eating the care packages that the local churches had provided. They give that to the new students. And some of my dad's old classmates that are still in the area, they had delivered some care packages in my room. So I started eating those for lunch, for dinner. Now it's for week 3. All the edible part of the care packages were gone. And exam, it was going to be exam week. So I got dressed. I've been studying. It was Sunday. I got dressed so I could go eat in the cafeteria. I got to the cafeteria. The cafeteria wasn't open. So I haven't been in the cafeteria for the last 2 weeks on Sunday. I didn't know they don't open on Sunday evening. And I didn't get the memo that it was closed. So I got there was no food. I was hungry. But I thought, okay, well, I'll just go back. I'll get up in the morning for breakfast. I'll go eat breakfast and everything will be fine. Well, I overslept. So, no dinner. Was almost late for my exam, which was 9 o'clock. It was biology. So I got dressed. I ran quickly. I went to the class. And I got there. I sat down, just tried to catch my breath. I was very hungry. And I started thinking, what am I doing here? Why am I here? So I started daydreaming, thinking, and I could see my mother's, I would come home from boarding school and she would say, well, we've got to get some food in you. Just eat, and I could just see the food. And I'm saying, Kemi, okay, get back to it. There's no food. You are in an exam hall. So I tried to take the exam, and I was doing the exam, I got dizzy. And when I get dizzy, usually what I do is I put my head down. That's what my mom would just say, just try that. So I did what I usually do. Put my head down, so it means like I was bending down. And I heard this voice say, Kemi, what are you doing down there? I don't know how long I was still there, but the next thing I heard, this footstep coming. I said, oh no, she's going to kill me today. I'm in trouble. And I said, well, it's just as well. She might as well just kill me because I'm going to flunk out anyway because I am so hungry. I am not happy here. I can't eat the food. And I will have to go back to Nigeria in shame. Now, just imagine. I'm going to go home and say, oh, I flunked out of college because I was hungry. Who's going to believe that? They'll say, yeah, right. Just, so I was careless at that point. So I just stayed there, and she said, and she came, boom, boom, she said, Kemi, what are you doing down there? And with all the energy I had left in me, I just raised my head up. I had no more energy to even stop the tears that were just ready to stroll down my eyes. It just started flowing. And she looked at me, and she said, she stiffened up when she saw me crying. And then she came close to me and put her hand right on my back, and she said, it will be okay. That was Dr. Shirley Handler. That was my biology professor. It will be okay, she said. I needed somebody to believe with me at that time that I am not going to flunk out of college. I needed somebody to say it will be okay. And Dr. Handler said that to me. Those 4 words made a difference that day. I wiped my eyes with the back of my hand, and I continued. I finished the exam. I finished, I sat there. I didn't know that I could finish the exam and turn it in and leave. So I sat there. And other people finished the exam, the students took, and they left. So I was the last one to leave the room. And as I was leaving, Dr. Handler said to me, Kemi, let me grade your paper. Then I will know what kind of help you need. I will personally tutor you if that's what it takes. So I left. The following week, Friday, I came into class. And now, of course, I'm sitting in front. I sat right in front where I've been asked to sit. And then Dr. Handler came in. And she carried the paper and she walked in. As soon as she walked in, she has this tendency, when she's talking to other people, she'll talk in a normal voice. When she's talking to me, she'll raise her voice because she thinks that's how I can understand her. And every time I always say, it's the Texas accent. It has nothing to do with, what you're saying. But I never said anything to her. So she comes in. She said, Kemi, we have a problem. See me after class. I said, okay. So she said to the class, she said, I am going to give your paper back to you today. And just to let you know, I give awards. I gave awards to the top 3 scorers in the class. There's going to be a bronze, there's going to be a silver, and there's going to be gold. So she calls the person with the, for the bronze award. She gave them their paper, and she gave the award. It was a nickel. That's the award. So she calls the person that got the silver. It was a dime. And they walked, and so they went to sit down. And then she called the gold award. It was a quarter. She called my name. Now, I was already sitting in front, so I really didn't get to go down the aisle, you know, and get my... But it was okay. It was a very good day for me. I picked my... I just reached out because I was sitting in front. I got my paper, and I got the quarter, which was for the gold. So after class, I went to her. She said, Kemi, obviously, you don't have any problem with understanding the material. Why were you crying the other day? I said, I was hungry. She said, hungry? How is that possible? She was genuinely surprised. I said, I couldn't eat the food. It didn't taste good. She said, if I cook for you, will you eat it? I said, if it tastes anything like what they serve in the cafeteria, no. Sorry. She said, no, I can guarantee you it will not taste anything like that. I said, okay. Then she said, where will you be when you finish class? So I told her, and then I went. At about 4:15, I got a call asking me to come down to the lobby. I went down there, and there was Dr. Handler with a Safeway bag. I remember very well. It was a plastic bag, a Safeway plastic bag in her hand. And she reached into that bag, and she brought out a bottle of Tabasco sauce. It wasn't this small, but it was big. But she said, here, Kemi, here is the bottle of Tabasco sauce for you. Take this Tabasco sauce. When you go to the cafeteria tonight, sprinkle a little bit of it on your food, and I guarantee you it will taste better. Well, I found out later that she had remembered that my father liked spicy food. So she gave it to me, and I took it from her. Dr. Handler died last year, January 6, 2011. And this is what was said about her in the university's obituary that came out from the university's bulletin. She was a professor who touched the hearts and lives of so many alumni. She touched my life. She gave me that Tabasco sauce that day. But something about that Tabasco sauce, I didn't want to jinx it. She did tell me after she gave me, she said, don't put too much on your food. Just a little, sprinkle a little. Because if you put too much, you're going to have a different problem on your hands. But I was too excited about this bottle of Tabasco sauce. For the first time in a long time, I was so hopeful that day. And I didn't want to jinx it. I didn't want to open it. I took the bottle. I couldn't wait to go to the cafeteria. I was just ready to open it and just, you know, there were these endless opportunities that I just bottled up inside that's going to allow me to eat the food. I was ready. So I went to the cafeteria, I took my Tabasco sauce, and I opened it carefully as I got my food. And I sprinkle, and then I sprinkle again, and I sprinkle some more. Okay, I got carried away. So I bit into the food, and oh, I quickly grabbed my glass of milk, jogged it down so quickly. She was right about that part. But she was also right about the fact that the food tasted better. And I ate that day. After I ate, all of a sudden, all the plans, because there was a reason why I came to East Texas. I kind of forgot about that in all my troubles, you know, trying to navigate all the changes that were going on. But all of this came back. I was hopeful again. There was endless opportunity for me that it's going to be okay. But more importantly, I saw a very, very compassionate professor who went out of her way to help me navigate that very difficult environment at that time for me. She didn't have to come back that day. She could have just said, oh, she got an A, I'm a fabulous professor. I've done my job. But she cared enough, she asked me, why were you crying? And she found out what could help me, and she provided me with that Tabasco sauce. So what have I done since then? That experience has shaped a lot of things that I do as I deal with my students, As I see my students, I try to step out of my comfort zone. I try to go the extra step. I'm just going to give you a couple of these. One of the things I do in my class, I give my students an index card. I give them index cards and I say, write something. And there are a set of questions I ask them, and one of them is, tell me something you would like to me to know about you, but that you don't mind me sharing with other students. And one year, a student put there that my birthday will be on the first, on the same day as your first exam, something along that line. And this is going to be the first birthday I'm going to have away from my mother. So something there made me think this is important to us. So on the day of the exam, we still had the exam. That wasn't going to change, But on the day of the exam, I brought in some cupcakes for her birthday. And she came, later on found out that she had been adopted and she's very close to the mother, and that, made a difference to her. But that was an example of how some of the things that I have tried to do as I remember Dr. Handler and what she had done for me. So this week, our students are going to be coming in. Many of them will have challenges that are not unlike the ones that I faced so many years ago. Are you willing to find out what your student's Tabasco sauce is? Are you willing to go the extra way, to make an effort to find out, to help them navigate these challenges that are out there? I want to challenge you today to step out of your comfort zone, to help your students find answers to some of these questions that could prevent them from having a successful college career. And as you live in today, as you're going to be walking out of this room today, I'm going to be providing you with a bottle. We have a bottle of Tabasco sauce that we'll give each one of you for two reasons. You stayed here with us until this time. That should count for something, right? But more importantly, find a place for this Tabasco sauce. I hope that it serves as a reminder of this discussion, this story that I told you today, and that it serves as a reminder to you about the role that we as teachers, administrators, staff, the role that we can play in helping our students find those missing ingredients that can prevent them from having a successful college career. See, the Dalai Lama said, be kind whenever possible. It is always possible. So what I would like to do today is to leave you with my own version of the Dalai Lama's speech, or the Dalai Lama's wise quotes. Go out there today. Make a connection with your students, because you always can.